Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the one, the only Kyle Petty. In advance of getting ready for another Kyle Petty charity ride coming up, the 28th annual charity ride coming up. And I see you brought along a friend too. One of your kids is here as well.
Yes, this is my youngest. This is Devant and Cotton will be he's almost 4, and Overton's almost 6, but they're at school. So it's my day because we're getting ready for the ride. Morgan's getting ready. So we're having goldfish and all the good things that we might have some chocolate later. I don't
That's
know.
awesome. That is awesome.
Listen, we're gonna jump on the bed. We're gonna do everything we're not supposed to do. Whoa.
Hey, don't tell Morgan that one. So of course, the 20th annual charity ride getting going here in the next month. How exciting is that for you? I know you've been able to do a ton of things with that and raising money for the Victory Junction Gang Camp, which is in its 20th year. It's heading into its 20th summer. Just talk about the charity ride, kind of preview that, and then of course, what's to come and for the Victory Junction Gang Camp.
It's all the same. It's all the same. Here's the funny part. So we've been doing the charity ride. This should be our 30th year for the charity ride. COVID interrupted us a little bit from the charity ride, but this is our 28th one. We're really excited because we're going back to Rushmore. We've been to Rushmore once and we didn't see it. It was so foggy when we got there, we couldn't see anything. So we got right up. We went up onto the platform. We saw we looked out across this massive expanse up to the side of the mountain, and you couldn't see anything. It was nothing but fog, nothing but fog. So we're starting in Deadwood. We're going from Deadwood to North Platte, Nebraska, over to Omaha, spend the night. Then we're going to Bettendorf, Iowa to what is that? Staying on the Mississippi. That's our big deal. I'm trying to think. Easy, buddy. Easy. Then we're going to Indianapolis and take a lap of the Speedway. And then we're going to, what's wrong? No. Then we're going to Indianapolis, take a lap of the Speedway. Then we're going to Churchill Downs and down to the Corvette Museum and Bowling Green. And then we're going to Bristol, Tennessee. It's Bristol, baby. We're going there. And then we're going to camp. And it is our 20th anniversary of camp. And we're so excited. We've seen 125,000 kids through camp and through our REACH program and everything that we've done with it. So this is a big year for us. 75th year of my family in NASCAR. So all this stuff kind of come together in one year. So it's 2024 is a crazy year for our family.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, by the way, before I ask about the 75th stuff, who's going to join you on the charity ride? I know there's going to be some guests coming along.
Oh, my dad, Herschel McGriff, who'll be 96 years old. Hall of Famer, 2 Hall of Famers. Donnie might. That would be our 3rd Hall of Famer if he comes with us. Kenny Schrader, Kenny Wallace, Mike Wallace, David Reagan, Rutledge Wood. Let's see, Rick Allen, the voice of NASCAR on NBC. He'll be with us. And then Herschel Walker, my good friend Herschel Walker, NFL star, Heisman Trophy winner, superstar in everything he does. He'll be with us. And then there'll be about 35 or 40 of the greatest people in the world ride along on those motorcycles with us and just get it done. So there'll be 150 of us this year. Most of the time we do 125, but we decided to add some people this year.
Okay, so going into this, going into this year, the 75th anniversary of your family, with what NASCAR is doing, with all the hats and stuff. I know I just saw the Texas Motor Speedway just unveiled theirs. How cool is that to see, for your family and, with your dad, your grandfather, of course, your nephew Thad's running full time in the Truck Series. What's that been like to see the response from everybody with all that?
So that's been cool. That really has. The hat program is different for different places. At Daytona, we came up with the idea, and at Daytona, the hat was petty blue and red, and it's going to be petty blue everywhere you go. It's going to be some blue on it, so it's petty blue. But it had my granddad's win there, my win there. It had photos of Adam when he raced there, and all the wins that we've had there, everything that we've done at Daytona. Then we went to Atlanta, and it was a tribute to my dad's last race there. and
Yeah.
92. So it was specific. So it's a little bit different everywhere we go. And these
Absolutely.
racetracks are going to change it. So if you go to Atlanta, the Daytona, the first race, it's one hat. If you go back to Daytona, the next race, it's another hat. That's just the way they're going to do it. So it has been fun to follow the people on Twitter, for them to hashtag us, for them to do the things that they're doing for us. It's all about the fans for us. You know, it's our way of trying to say thank you for 75 years of putting up with our family in some way, shape, or form, and allowing us to do the things we want to do. And you know, the logo, everything is has just been really nice so far this year. You know, it's hard to believe it's already April, and this year is just flying by. But when, like I said, when the motorcycle ride, with the Kyle Petty Charity Ride being in its 28th year, Camp being in his 20th, and our family in his 75th, it seems like all we do is we're out promoting something at some point in time.
Absolutely. So, you know, of course, you're going to be going back to working here in a few months with NBC. But so far this season, how do you think the Cup Series season's going so far? I know there's been a lot of talk, especially this week with with the short tracks and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But overall, how do you think this year is going so far?
So listen, I think the year's been great. You go back to Daytona. I thought Daytona was a solid race. I thought Atlanta was a great race. 3 wide finish. Are you kidding me? When we look at some of this stuff, I think some of these things, we've seen stuff this year we haven't seen. And listen, you run 36 solid races and 2 bonus races, so 38 races a year. I'm sorry, people. We can't have perfection and excellence 38 times a year. It just doesn't happen. Doesn't happen in the NFL. Doesn't happen in the NBA. Doesn't happen in Major League Baseball. Just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody's up in arms about the short track racing right now, man, and maybe rightfully so. I have no idea. But when you have this good or this quality of teams and this quality of drivers, they're all going to run the same speed. You don't have any smucks out there. These guys can run up front anytime. So the competition on the short track has always been the great equalizer. You could take a guy who had $10 million and a guy who had $1 million, and the guy with $1 million could run against the guy with 10 million and look competitive on a short track. And that's what we see a lot of times. So, you know, people are going to complain. NASCAR fans are the greatest complainers in the world. And they always have been. And that's because they're so passionate about the sport. And that's the only reason, you know, and that's what I love about them. I love that passion. I love to hear them complain, because it makes you think about the sport in a different way, not just as a competitor. But I think the season's been good. There's no clear favorite. I don't care. William Byron has won 3 times on 3 different types of racetracks. But at the same time, man, nobody has really just grabbed the throat grabbed the year by the jugular yet and said, hey, it's my year. I think Williams gotten close, but you know, God, Larson's good. Denny Hamlin, the perennial, always there. He's good. So the Gibbs stuff's going to be good. So I don't know. I think the Fords are a little behind. That's the only thing I see so far.
Yeah. You know, going in and really kind of seeing everyone has their kind of ideas about, like, you know, how to, you know, with the fix the short tracks. And obviously you saw with you know, the SMI spat with Denny and Marcus Smith and all that stuff. What just kind of, you know, go in, like, is there anything that really can, you know, really be done with that and all the other stuff?
Well, I'm sure there's stuff that can be done. You know, there was stuff that was done to get us to where we were at. You just have to undo or redo or think about it totally different. And that's way, way, way above my pay grade. I just talk about it. It's not my job to fix it.
Yeah.
And thank goodness it's not. And I'm going to say something. It's not Denny Hamlin's job to fix racetracks. And it's not Marcus Smith's job to fix race cars. So everybody needs to get back in their box in a lot of ways and focus on what they're doing. You know, Denny's comments, and we can go back through all that stuff, and it really makes no difference. That's just, it's a blip on a radar screen.
Right.
What we really have to do is pull together and make the sport better in every way we can. I think Marcus is a leader in that. Marcus has always done. Listen, here's a guy who owns a racetrack in Texas and wanted, for the good of the sport and to move the sport forward, gave up one of his dates, went and rented a racetrack in Texas at COTA to run one of the races. That's a huge commitment from Marcus Smith and SM. That's a huge commitment. I don't think drivers or fans understand what it's like to just say, okay, let's go do this at somebody else's track because I think it helps the sport. Marcus does that. Denny Hamlin's the same way. He prods and he pokes, but he wants to move the sport forward. But it's not going to be a quick fix. Here's the thing. If you hear people say, we're going to make a tweak to this, that means nothing's changing because the tweak's not going to fix some of this stuff. They're going to have to swing a big bat and they're going to have to hit it hard. And they might have to just throw it away and start all over at certain places. You know, we were having this same conversation 6 years ago. Man, those 1.5 mile racetracks, they're terrible, man. We need to get rid of all those 1.5 mile racetracks. Nobody was complaining about short tracks. Nobody was complaining about road courses. Now with this new car, everybody's complaining about short tracks and some of the road course racing, but they're not complaining about the 1.5 miles. They're not complaining about Atlanta. They're not complaining about Vegas, places like that. They think that's pretty good. So it's just flipped. And again, you're not going to fix it with a tweak. You're going to have to swing a big bat at it or a big stick at it and make something happen.
Yeah. So, and then just for, just for details and stuff, the charity ride coming up, when does that all start? And all that, just to remind all the fans out there.
You know what? I should pull my cheat sheet out, but I'm going to pull my calendar out here and I'm going to tell you that it starts on, dang it, people messing with my calendar here. Starts on May 4th. Starts on May 4th and ends on May 10th, back in Charlotte, or back at Victory Junction. Again, we leave Deadwood. We're just pumped, man. We're headed up there in a couple of weeks, taking the boys and gonna tour the Badlands and do everything that you can do up that way. But it's gonna be a fun ride. We used to go, West Coast to East Coast, and we've gone north to south. We've gone Maine to Miami. We've gone a little bit everywhere. Recently, the last few years, we've just done regional routes. We did the Southwest, we did Utah and some of that last year. And again, this year we're just going, we're coming back to camp because it's the 20th, but it's half the country we're gonna cross this time.
Absolutely. All right. Cannot wait to see that once again. The 28th annual Kyle Petty charity ride, the 20 and of course the money going to the Victory Junction Gang Camp in its 20th year. Just incredible. And of course the 75th anniversary of your family in NASCAR. So a lot of big celebrations for sure. Kyle Petty, thank you so much for taking the time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.